Greenlight police and taxi mini haul video here. This is actually a review mostly of the Hot Pursuit Series 16, which was just released in August of 2015. We're going to be taking a look at each of those 6 cars. We're not cracking these ones open. I only bought one set, and I've got nowhere to put my cars right now, so I'll only open up a couple of them. But I've got one open there. We're going to look at some of the details on it. And then also got some special exclusive vehicles from the San Diego Police Department, K9 unit and whatnot, and 2 brand new castings, New York Taxi editions. Not really brand new castings, but brand new packaging and tampo for this car. Although a very similar one was released in a 4-car diorama. So we're going to look at the 2 differences between those, as well as a couple classic Hot Pursuit cars I picked up. These are Series 13, so they're not really classic, but just some really nice NYPD in the typical blue colors that you would see if you were in the New York area. So like I said, we'll start this video as a review of the latest Hot Pursuit from the Greenlight lineup, Series 16. And here is the card art that you'll see on the plastic blisters that these things come with, or clamshells, however you want to call them. But really nice cars, really good assortment here, and some cool paint jobs to look at. So now we're going to take a look at each one of those a little closer up, starting with this beauty, 1967 Ford Bronco. Check out the detailed little wipers up there on the top of the windscreen. Nice steel individual bumper, separate from the casting. It's very authentic looking steely rimmed wheels, and the Ford emblazoned right in the back of the casting. So these Broncos have been released in several paint schemes now, which is awesome. Off-road versions as well. It's got a metal base, of course, with rubber tires. And we're not going to look at the backs of these packages too much because there's really not too much crazy stuff going on other than a little map of where this police vehicle would typically have been found. As you can see, there's a thumbtack in Morgan, so that's a little bit of interest for the police vehicle here, and each one is different, of course, based on their maps. But I'm sure if you're at Series 16, you've probably been collecting these things already and already know this, so we'll just look at the castings in general. We've got the 67 Ford Custom here, which does feature an opening hood, a little revolving dome light on the roof, some nicely detailed taillights and bumpers, and again steely wheels, which are really cool. Love it when they use steely wheels on these cars, and a really nice detailed front end on that unit. So of these 6 cars, the only ones I opened up was this one, because of course my favorites are the big old 4-door cars. So there you have it. Pretty much this one's got one of those hoods that doesn't open all the way, so I'm not going to force it, but you know, that's just probably a minor defect on this one that I might be able to jam open if I really tried. But sometimes when you do that, you risk having the hood never close fully afterwards. Sometimes it gets stuck like that, so for me I'd prefer to just keep it intact in the closed position. Rolls good. And the next car we'll look at is the 92 Ford Mustang. Another vehicle that's seen quite a few different tampo variations and paint jobs, namely in the police series. Got very authentic looking wheels on it for this car. Those are exactly what the wheels should have looked like. And reverse lights painted on those transparent tail lights, which are separate pieces. Very nice little license plate. All around a very high quality piece with authentic trimming and moldings on it. And one of the biggest vehicles to come out to the Greenlight lineup is this Dodge Ram 1500. Fully to scale, 1/64 with everything else. Now featuring a push bar with a chrome bumper for the Corning Police Department. And of course it's got the low profile light bar across the roof. And some really cool looking running boards. I'm not sure if we've seen those before on these Dodge Rams. I may have to look at my other ones, but I think that's a new feature for this Greenlight casting, is incorporating running boards on it. So pretty excited about that, and we'll have to do a separate review of the Rams here. And fifth from last here, we've got the Albuquerque Police, New Mexico. Nice Dodge Charger, 2012. They really do a nice job on these new vehicles. Probably the nicest job of any company for making new vehicles, with all the proper details and really making use of the separate pieces for the taillights and headlights and stuff to give it that authentic look. Because with these new modern shaped cars being really sleek and rounded, if you don't use separate pieces like as in the Hot Wheels and stuff, they tend to just look like a big metal blob to me. So it's critical that the proper tampos are used in separate pieces for details where possible. And Greenlight really excels at that with these modern castings. So there's another Ford Police Interceptor. I think this is a Taurus, if I'm not mistaken. It just calls an Interceptor, but pretty sure these are the Taurus cars that were built exclusively for the Ford Police units. They're used all across the continent, really. And that's release 16. So we'll take a quick look at some of the other stuff that I got. Release 13 here. I've only got one car from here to show you right now. I may have done a review on this before, I don't quite remember, so forgive me if you've seen it before, but I really like this blue NYPD car. It looks exactly like what they look like in real life, so there you go. It's got the echelon type light bar on the top and the steely wheels with the silver painted centers for the lug nuts. So basically I bought two of those because I like them so much, and I'm probably going to open one of those up. And then over to this stuff, we'll save the taxis for last because we're in the police discussion right now. We've got these exclusives, limited edition exclusives, San Diego Police, California. So on the back of this one here, it's got a little blurb about that. Police car models produced exclusively for this website here. So if you want these, that's where you got to get them. I bought mine on eBay, but I'm pretty sure that company has an eBay site, so that's how it worked out. But these are really, really nice. Authentic looking cars once again. This one's the K9 unit. And this website, or company I should say, makes all sorts of police vehicles with exclusives from Greenlight and other companies. So pretty exciting stuff. And actually surprisingly not overly expensive either. Pretty much in line with what you would typically spend on any Greenlight. So that's pretty cool. Here's the traffic version, so you can see these cars complement each other well. They're probably released around the exact same time. You got the traffic version and the K9 version. This one featuring the light bar and the dog on the back of the rear door, whereas this one does not have the light bar and slightly different tampos. So pretty cool stuff. And finally, we're going to be looking at these taxis here. New York City taxi. Goes well with my New York City police cars. These were just released, I believe, in, I think, what are we right now, September or October? Yeah, October is when these were released. And look exactly like the cars you would see in New York. If you've seen New York cars in movies or in New York itself, if you've been there, right down to the fare sticker on the back door and the logos and that checkered, faded out checkered tampo on the back to the light bar on the roof. These cars perfectly resemble the New York City cars. And surprise, surprise, officially licensed by the New York City Cab Company on the back of this Greenlight packaging. So pretty cool stuff. Really like adding taxis wherever I can to my large four-door Crown Victoria collection and other four-door cars. So here we've got the this one was the one released from the 4-car diorama set. It was a New York diorama set released, I think it was a year or two ago, at least a year ago. Looks exactly like the ones in the package, you would think, that we just took a look at, but actually there's some slight differences here. Number one, the number on the back of the car is different. It matches the top light bar on the roof. As you can see, overblurred, 711 and 2X15. And then the other difference, some things are the same though. It's got that little New York sticker right on the hood of the car. I Love New York or something like that. I can't even read that, so small. What was the other difference? I had another difference here. Well, maybe I didn't. Anyways, very similar cars, obviously minor paint job differences. Oh yes, the license plate was different, I believe. The license plate was the final different piece. So you can see this one has the 2X15 and the 7Y11. So if you bought the first one, or the diorama, and these were actually quite expensive for a while because people were scooping them up. It was the only way to get them. And loose, they were selling for almost the same price as the full diorama set. Not sure the production numbers on those, but this one here I have is 1884. Well, you should expect to pay less now for these cars because they've been re-released, and that will dilute the die cast because most people won't even realize there's a difference between the two. And honestly, if you're just looking for a New York taxi, who cares? Perfect examples right there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, happy hunting, and leave a comment if you like. Thank you very much.